On today's episode of the Jamaican Cooking Journey, I'll be sharing with you a one-pot bulgur meal. But before I move on to the video, I would like to pause here to say special thanks to all the new people coming on to the Jamaican Cooking Journey, and their resounding manners and respect to all those who started this journey with me and they're still here. I want to send a shout out to my patrons. Thanks for loving and supporting. If you'd like to be a part of my Patreon family, click on the link in the description and show me some love right over on Patreon. And of course, our post notification shout outs, they always go right there. Look out for your names. So we're going to be doing a one pot bulgur meal. Now, first thing, none of what I'm showing you is sponsored by, or this video is sponsored by them. I'm using this brand of bulgur. I've never seen this one before. It more look like a kind of couscous or whatever, but it's not. It says here bulgur wheat. So I'm using this one. Remember, it's not sponsored. Don't come tell me, hey, do that. Sometimes you gotta show things and it's not sponsored. I don't have a problem with that, okay? Just letting you know. So I have one here that I did use some ahead of time. I tried it, and because I've never used it before, I did try it. It's beautiful. So I'm gonna use the rest of this and I'm gonna show you how I prepare it. So the first thing I do, I always like to give my little thing a little rinse, and I'm rinsing it under the stew part of my pan. Oh, I missed some there, but that's okay. This is just a small amount. So I'm just gonna give it a rinse. It's wheat, and this is good for what's that thing now? And used in space of rice. Actually, I've never seen this type. I have seen the brown type, but comment and tell me if you have ever seen this type of, but I've never seen this one, and it eats so good. So I'm gonna be rinsing it, or I've already rinsed it, have it draining properly. Whilst that is draining, I want to move to another part of the video. I'm using a piece of saltfish. I'm going to be rinsing it, rinse off the pickling salt on it. And when I say the pickling salt, I am talking these. So I'll rinse it right under the same pipe. Get all the pickling salt all rinsed. When you run your hand, and you're not to feel any salt. So I'm leaving it there to take a beautiful rinse. Right here I'm using some mustard greens. This was in my refrigerator. They are about to go bad, so I'm using them. You could get fresh ones. You could use other greens instead. It's a little one-pot vegetable survival after burial meal. I'm using a little tomato, some few carrots. You could use your other condiments of choice, and I will go and I'll catch you in the next. So I have already put my saltfish to scald off, and this is my wash and drain the bulgur. You see it? You see how it looks. This does not take a long time to cook, okay? It does not, actually, it doesn't. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to give it a little pre-soak, and you'll see how. I'm going to put about a half cup of water, no more, and I'm going to put in about also a half of a teaspoon of salt. I'm going to give it a stir. This is a pre-soaking thing I'm doing. So you see it has some liquid. I'm gonna leave it for about 15-20 minutes, and when we return you will see how this thing fares off. I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm gonna cover it. No cooking at this point, please. I just leave it to have a little pre-soak, because I'm gonna be using just a small amount of coconut milk to cook it up. This is what I'll be using. So with all of those happening and they're out of the way, doing their thing, I'll be just using these little stuff, and I'll be doing a little prepping, a little chopping. Just gonna chop off my my scallions. They're not the freshest. I look here, hurricane after hurricane thing, you know, and it'll get worse as we progress more and more, you know. Yeah, so I'm gonna just chop it off, and I don't have to be here, or I don't want to stay here bore you watching me cutting up scallions and onions. We have been cooking on this channel here for 7 years plus, and you see how I cut up already. I've done videos that I show you. So I will not stay here and continue this for another 3-4 minutes and longing out the video. I'm going to be doing this and return. We are back. I've got me my green thyme. I've got me my little scallions. I've got me my little onion. You can put where you want, family. I'm always telling you, you can put what you want. I'm using what I have got at this point. This is my mustard greens. I tell you, I love mustard greens. It has the smell when you're cutting it of turnip. And I told you that I really do love turnip. And coming up in the near future, I'm going to show you what we got burned right now. That's how it is. How we can use turnip. Mr. Jamaica, all I use if you do I put in a soup. I don't know why. So let me introduce to you what we did off camera, or let me get you enlightened on what we did off camera. You saw in the prior clip where I put my bulgur to soak up a bit, and this is what it looks like. This is bulgur. You don't tell me about no couscous now. No, you see I showed you the brand and everything. It is bulgur. I've never seen this one before. I'm gonna be cooking it for the second time. This is what it look like, filled with fiber. Very good source of, you know, very good thing for substitute rice. Cause look here, only for rice we are going for eat now in other afterberry there, you know, and no for we not eat too much of it, so you can try to get this, you know. All right, so this is our bulgur. This is my saltfish all picked up. I'm gonna flip my flame up now. I'm gonna be using some of this butter with I healthy or not healthy. I don't know I eat me have, so I eat me I use. I'm gonna be melting some of it, and as it melts, I am going to be trying to get my carrots in. I have to wait on it for hot for me start with it. So got me a little carrot here, and this is my little thingy. And if you'd like to get yourself a few of these, you can check on my Amazon storefront and get yourself a couple of them. And also in the meantime, you're giving the Jamaican cooking journey some support. Okay, so we're gonna get our carrots in right here in our little whatever, you know, and your butter now half a melt, okay? Enough a melt out for when you put it in there. You hear a little piece of thing in there, a piece of mustard greens in there. So look what is gonna happen. I'm gonna leave it to sort of like not saute. When you saute, you not cover nothing, you know. Gonna give it a little cook off, a little steam off. Why? Because the carrot it kind of like a toughish. You don't know that. So you also want to make sure it's thinly sliced. Next clip. Steam. You see this? Yes. This is what we want. Get our flame right back up. You see that nice pretty color that the butter has created? That nice liquid. Yeah, and the carrots are in there. Definitely not losing its flavor. I've rinsed this already, and we want to take off not too much. We don't want to get too much of these bigger parts in there. Up with our flame. And at this point, see how convenient this is. We're going to just shovel in all of this on a very, very uppity eat right now. And I know you're looking for my mustard greens. As I tell you, you can use whatever leafy vegetable you want to substitute the mustard. Look at this. I'll just put it. I'm not going to put it in at this point. Everything is here going on. We're going to put our little stuff to it. If you want to use the other powdered seasoning, this is a little cumin for me, not a lot. I'm just trying to add a little extra gig to my little natural seasonings or herbs. I'm putting a little basil. So you use your seasoning, them where you use, you know them. Basil and all of them something there. Yeah. So I'm more like on a steaming down, cooking down with this. At this point, you know, I'm going to add my saltfish, and I'm going to tell you, you know, I always sort of brown up my saltfish, but at this point or in this dish, I will not be browning up my saltfish. I'm just going to make my saltfish cook and go on with the little thing in it, get my flame up and all of that. You could add some okra if you have. I don't have okras, but you'd have to know not to let them get too soft. I like them crunchy. My coconut milk, of course, is what I need right here. Or if you have some chicken stock or some beef stock, that will be totally up to you. Yes, and with my coconut milk, I think I might add just a 1/4 cup of water. Look at that. A little extra water, maybe a 1/2 cup. Yeah. Look at that. It looks so good. This looks like a Rastaman dish, don't it go? Like a dreadlocks type of thing. Right here, I'm going to be adding my bulgur. Look how it has expanded. I'm gonna get my bulgur right in. You see that? Gently, you see it has absorbed the water. So you have to know how much liquid, because this is like almost, well, partially, not almost cooked. So I'm gonna be adding in my bulgur. Yep. Get my flame down a little. Adding in my bulgur. This is a great substitute for any rice dish. Goes well as sides if you want to do it like this. Omit the saltfish. Use your barbecue chicken, your pork. You know it. You know it. You know. So this is so beautiful. All I have to do now is taste for my salt perfection, and I'm gonna add me a little, just a little bit of a red pepper flakes. A little red pepper flakes, just for a little spice, if you so desire. Mix it in properly, and I'm gonna taste for my salt perfection, which I think should be good because I did add a little salt to the bulgur before I pre-soaked it. I also, my saltfish has a little salt in there. Remember, you know, this is about you. Put what you want to put in it. Don't come for me. Mix and match, and I'm gonna leave it right there. I think my salt is good enough. Let me say. Wow, this thing is already up there cooking, fam. Let's cover. Yes, you know this thing produces a lot of steam. We're gonna get our flame down. I'll catch you in the next clip. So now this is the time for me to add my green leafy vegetable. You can use what you want. You don't have to add, but honestly, I really like mustard, and I have it, and I think it will go good in there. It smells so good. As I had it on top, I will leave it to just finish steam down, and in the next clip you'll see me incorporating and ready to be served. From my kitchen to yours, from my Jamaican kitchen to your family table, to your palate, and most of all, it is your one pot bulgur meal. It is good. It is a good substitute for rice. Thanks for watching.